Hello everyone, I'm Professor Geek. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to review the original story in the Batman 100-page comic giant number 3. And here we have Brian Michael Bendis trying his hand at another one of DC's iconic characters, this time Batman. Okay, so there's not much use in buying the issue for the rest of the stories. We do have a continuation of the classic story Hush, but I highly recommend you just go buy the actual collected version of Hush to receive that story. Otherwise, there's a Nightwing New 52, Harley Quinn New 52, New 52, you know how I feel about that. So the only reason I would buy it is for a new Batman story, as well as maybe a trip down memory road for the Hush series there. So how did Bendis do with writing Batman? Well, not as bad as he did writing Superman, that's for sure. I'd much rather have had him write a Batman story arc, and in place of all the stuff that Tom King is doing to the Dark Knight Caped Crusader right now. But no, we have Bendis ruining Superman. I'll start with some of the good things. He's got Batman being a detective. That's great. The art is wonderful throughout the issue. I mean, look at that wonderful kind of classic Batman art there. Trunks intact. I love that. The story in terms of the threat and what's unfolding thus far in part 1 is pretty interesting, actually. The Riddler is our main character. I don't like with all of the iconic characterizations they've got going on here with Batman, I don't know why they still went with this silly Irish gangster, I'm too sexy for my shirt thug look for Riddler. There he is running away at the bottom there. He's got a bunch of decoys hired to look like him. But I won't give you the twist away in case you do want to see it or check it out. But it looks like we might have another villain in the next issue. But first of all, from a Batman treatment, there are problems with his take on the universe. And this is something that I'm speaking from seeing his treatment of Superman as well, and the way he's just sort of muscled right into the DC universe and tried to remake it in his own image. It's really not the way to come into an established universe and series as a new creator. You ease in, you show respect for the material, and then you show that you've got good stories to tell as well. You don't bust in with a bunch of different changes. So at first it's subtle. We've got the Riddler giving these riddles. The riddle apparently isn't very complicated, and they're wondering why. This does seem beneath the Riddler. And Alfred is telling him through the headset there, I may not have expressed this to you in the past, but I always regarded the Riddler among your most clever adversaries. I always appreciated the amount of effort he put forth. This riddle is quite beneath him. And Batman says, I'll make sure to tell him he lost a fan. So this sort of little banter that Bendis thinks is just hilarious. He brings it to every story. He's doing it in the Superman stories now. He's assuming he'll get laughs, but they're simply unearned. Now this little joke here, okay, whatever. I don't really think of Alfred as somebody who would ever express admiration for any of the Batman villains. I've never thought of him in that manner, but, I can understand what's being said here. So, to begin with, okay, whatever, no harm, no foul. Then we get a little more of those cheesy little moments where he's using his grappling hook to fire up the building and ends up passing a girl on the fire escape there, and frightens her, says, ma'am, and she, oh, no worries, big fan. And he's talking to Alfred the whole time, and she's like, are you talking to me? Who are you talking to? And we see a repeat of this joke as he's fighting the Riddlers. He's talking to Alfred the whole time, and one of the villains says, who are you talking to? Batman says, not you. And the villain says, rude. What is that doing? I mean, you're trying to be cute and funny, but this is the Dark Knight detective. This isn't Batman 66. And then the joke gets a triple play here with Batman asking Alfred if he's captured the Joker yet on the cameras. And Alfred says, I have him. Batman says the concierge has him at this point. And Alfred says, rude. That's not funny. It's not funny. It's cutesy. And cutesy doesn't belong in a Batman story. The other thing it does is this. It's a tacit parodying of Batman stories. So Batman's always firing his grappling hook around the city. So guys, wouldn't it be cool? I mean, it'd be much more realistic. He's got to be like passing people on these fire escapes sometimes, right? Wouldn't it be cool and funny to have that little moment where he just sort of peeks in on somebody? If it's really tied into the theme of the story, maybe, but I don't see that the case here. It just seems cutesy. The whole thing that he's always talking to Alfred or Oracle with his earpiece or whatever, wouldn't it be cool if somebody thought, hey, he's talking to them? No, No, that's not funny. That's cutesy, and that's a cheap shot. It tells me as a reader that you as a storyteller don't really have a lot of substance to give us, so you're just going to give us these cutesy little moments and expect us to thank you for them. That's not what I'm looking for in a classic, iconic Batman story. Again, not something like Batman 66. There's room for that kind of stuff in the right kind of Batman story, but not this. And you know, any one of these things might not be so bad, but when you take them all together, along with the treatment of the characters that we've seen him bring to DC in general, it's a problem of the story treatment, but it's also a problem in storytelling. I'll give you an example. This whole page right here. Okay, you find out that all of these fake Riddlers were stuntmen who had been hired thinking they were doing a job, a film job for like a prank show or something like that, but they were actually hired to aid in the heist that Riddler's doing there. So he takes an entire page, 9 panels, to meet 9 different thugs just to tell us that they all thought that this was a prank show, a job for a prank show. It's not funny. None of the things they say are funny. You could have done maybe 3 panels, maybe just 3 panels, just for a good coverage of significance, so we know, okay, they all thought this was a prank show. That's all you needed. We don't need a whole page worth, 9 panels of not funny things being said, trying to be funny, trying to be cutesy. That slows the story down. That tells us as readers that you are more interested in trying to get us to chuckle, quote unquote, than to tell us a decent story. And it's just a problem. And then in the end there, he says these things are coming up in the issue, and also a brand new character is introduced. Now, I would like to think that by brand new character, they simply mean another one of Batman's villains or something like that is going to enter the story. But knowing Bendis, I am 90% sure that he means he's going to bring in a brand new character to the Batman mythos. Even in a 100-page comic giant, he can't help himself. He's got to bust up into the universe and remake it in his image. Bring his own villains, bring his own original characters, and bring his own original this and that. Dude, stop. Respect the universe. Respect the characters. Ease into it. Show us that you respect these characters, and then we'll see what you have to offer in terms of originality. But the ship's already sailed on that, of course, with the nonsense that he's dragging Superman through right now. So, hey. I can't really speak to the overall development of the story arc. This is only part 1. We're going to get at least one more part. I imagine probably 3 or 4, maybe even. So I'm going to reserve judgment on the actual entirety of the plot until I see that play forth. I'm hoping, maybe, I might enjoy what he does to the story overall, but I don't like these little moments. I don't like this little flippant treatment that Bendis brings to the DC characters. We see it here with Batman. We've seen it with his Superman run. I translate that as a lack of respect for the characters. I know not everybody would, but I translate that as him coming into these characters and thinking, they're my little action figures to toy with, and I can play with them or whatever, and have them do whatever I want them to. You know, I'm gonna have them in a little story, and it'll be fine. You know, stories can be fine, but I'm just gonna make them. No, you show some respect, especially as a new creator coming onto these characters, and a creator that people are not simply across the board happy about having you in here. Show a little reserve, show a little respect, and ease into this universe. So I'm not happy with his flippant treatment of the characters or its universe. The story seems like it could go into a very cool place, so I will check it out and let you know about that. But I don't really recommend buying this issue. I mean, unless for some reason you're solely needing it to buy it for the Hush story arc. But again, you can buy that completed Hush story arc for less money than you would have to spend on each of these 100-page Comic Giant issues. So Bendis tries to write Batman, and he fails. He fails. He might succeed in some ways in terms of the entirety of the plot once it's finished, but in terms of the establishment and the treatment of the characters, he's already failed. And I wish he would just stop with this cutesy Marvel Spider-Man type story nonsense, which is fine for Spider-Man, but not for Batman, and not for Superman and all of the horrible things he's doing to deconstruct Superman's life right now. So there we have it. I will be back with more reviews and another archetype video soon enough. I'm going to do an interview with some Comicsgate creators coming up soon. We have more office hours on the way, so lots of great stuff to come. Thanks to everyone who supports, likes, and subscribes to the channel. Please hit that thumbs up. My Patreon info is down in the description below and at the link at the end of the video. For $1 a month, you can receive some exclusive content and access to giveaways. Check that out, and until next time, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the hero stories you love. Thanks for watching.